got you. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys being on as usual. Thanks so much. I just want to mention before we get started the passing of Tom Konchowski, and I don't know if any of you guys ever met Tom. I've been lucky enough in 30 years of coaching to see him on the road and see him every place. We lost another great person, and more importantly, great part of the basketball family and fabric of college basketball and high school basketball. And I do want to, wish his family, prayers and thoughts, and just another great person. So another big loss for everybody.
Thanks, Coach, for that. We'll start off with questions for Coach from Jerry.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Steve. I know Tom well. He's a good man. Big loss. Irreplaceable guy.
Those old school guys, and you're right, irreplaceable, and just as a person, and not only did a great job with the scouting services and all that, but was a friend to many and helped. I think you're judged by how many people you help in your life, and no one helped more people than Tom Konchowski. So it's kind of a sad day. Way too early, too. 74 years young.
Yeah,
too early. So I appreciate you saying that, Jerry.
All right, my question, just about Iowa now. When you watch film of them, their recent games, obviously their game against you last time, what do you see?
Yeah, I see, a great team. They're without, a really good guard too, and he'll probably play against us, I'm sure. But Frederick, really, an elite guard in our league with some injuries. The number one scorer in the country, the best big man. They're well coached, and they've been top 10 all year. I don't know whether they're 14 or 15 now, but that's a top 10 team and have been all year. Go into their place and they make the most threes. They lead our league in points per game. They have the best player in the country. A lot of obstacles. We played them. We didn't have Cliff, and I think it was Caleb's first game back, and same with Gio was kind of, rounding out, getting into shape, but they really beat us from the free throw line, 18 for 23. We got 4 points from the free throw line, but they're really good. They cause many problems. Whenever you have a team that makes 10 threes per night and has a post-up guy that could shoot threes and score, you got to play really well. It's just another huge challenge in this league, and every game is a huge challenge in a league that had 12 teams out of 14 ranked. So Iowa really good, and Fran does a really good job. He's built an unbelievable program there.
We'll go to questions from Bobby and then James Scratch.
Can you talk about Caleb and how big he's been during this winning streak, just his return and what he's meant to the overall team?
Caleb's, first of all, thankful. Rich and he did a great job of getting that back healthy, and the NCAA put in rule this year too. Which enabled him to play, because otherwise he probably would have redshirted the whole year. So very thankful for that. He's getting in great shape. He brings a terrific energy and a toughness, and he's 6'7". He's got great size. Gives us another really good defender, but he also is he's a great cutter off the ball. He's very engaged verbally. Gives us another high-level defender that's, can guard multiple positions. He's in the gym all the time, and he's feeling better and better health-wise. So, just really thankful to have him back. And he's a veteran guy. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot here in our program and in this league. He's a veteran knowing this league. He's given us great minutes, as you saw the other night. And it was great. Every game, it's somebody different, and it's kind of who we are. And the other night was his night, and the game before that was Jacob Young's night, and the game before that could have been Paul Mulcahy's night. Just that's how we are as a program. And Caleb gives us another really good veteran guy and a good leader on the court. So just thankful he's healthy and playing good basketball at a time where we need him.
Steve, I guess, what are the challenges from a defensive standpoint of trying to kind of game plan for a guy like Garza when you've already done it once this season and you had some success, and then you kind of hope down the road you might have to do it a third time or fourth time even potentially?
Yeah, I mean, really with a guy like that, he's leading the nation, scoring. He's seen every defense. James, like he's seen everything. Guys double team him, triple team him, front him in the post. Double from the elbows, double on the pass. Um, he's really good. And the uniqueness about him, he's great with angles, and he's got such a quick release that he can get shots off before double teams too. And then when you lose him, he wanders out to 3-point land and is as good a 3-point shooter, as there is in the country. I'm thankful, we have some big guys that can defend, and that have experience, guarding him. But you're going to always try to limit, his touches. But the guys around him are really good. Wiesenkamp is on the NBA draft board. Bohannon's the leading 3-point shooter, maybe in Iowa basketball history, and he's also the leading assist guy too. So they have really good players surrounding him, and that's what makes it more difficult to guard him. And he's a guy that again has seen, and he's got tremendous experience, has seen everything. So it's really challenging and very different than the last game that we played with our preparation. So totally different team to prepare for. So many challenges, and I haven't seen anyone do a great job on him. He always gets his numbers. He had 30 against Gonzaga. He's had some of the teams with really good defenders too up front. He still gets his points and his numbers. So you got to hope to limit that, and then you got to do a great job on all the guys around, which is just as important.
Well, Chris Eisman and then Chris Nowalski.
Steve, obviously, Miles has played really well these last few games, really all season, but especially these last few games. I mean, is there anything in particular that's kind of stood out to you about what he's been able to do recently?
Yeah, I mean, Miles, I don't know if you could appreciate the development of Miles unless you put on a tape from his freshman year and watch a practice. He's able to guard everybody now. He can guard every position. And so when we switch off at, the end of games, he sits down and guards everybody. He couldn't do that earlier on. He's done a really good job of staying out of foul trouble too. He's really learned. He watches film. He's playing at a high level. I mean, he's one of the leading shot blockers in the country. I think he and Jacob Young are two of the better defenders in the entire league, which makes them two of the better defenders in the entire country. And he's going up every night. It's Coburn, it's Garza, it's Robbins, it's, Travion Williams. It's, I don't think anyone realizes the depth of front courts. Like some leagues have 2 or 3 big guys, and we have 14 in this league that can play anywhere. So Miles is challenged every night. Cliff has done a really good job too. I mean, his defense has gotten better and better too, and we need that to keep, happening. And Cliff, I think since he's 10-2, I think when Cliff has played in games. So we really missed him during that time off too. And he gives us another, defender with really good athleticism. So, really, pleased with Miles's development, but it's on him. He's done a really good job. He really watches the film too. And he's got a good experience. I mean, I think sometimes, this is 4 years of him, guarding people, and his experience is really, really a key here moving forward, and he's sharing that with Cliff too. So I think that's a really good thing, his mentorship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Actually, sticking with Miles, it's kind of unusual to see a big man, near the top in steals. What makes him so good at being able to get steals and getting hands on balls and whatnot in the paint?
Some of those are scouting report, steals too. So again, he's a student. He understands plays and watches enough film of the opponents and stuff. He has great hands. I mean, and that's he came here with those. He can catch a lot of things. He's got long arms, but just using his body, and I think watching film, and he continues to move. He's more athletic now. If you saw a film of his freshman year to now, really a big difference in the work that he's done, to become a little quicker with his feet and his hands. But he definitely is one of the best defenders in the country. And you see that. And also he plays against a lot of post players that throw the ball into the post a lot too. I watch some games and they never throw the ball into the post guys in some leagues. this is a league that throws the ball in and the quality big guys. So he's got more opportunities too to move his feet and get those kind of opportunities, and it helps us a great deal.
Go over to Aaron Brightman.
Coach, you had a couple 6-7 day breaks during the losing streak. You have one now during the winning streak. How much did that help you prepare and get ready for this matchup, and also being a short turnaround with Northwestern on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think we always try to keep, getting better and utilize the time off. I think health-wise, it's a good thing too. We don't have any breaks here for the rest of the season. So it's a long year. We started in June. Good to give the guys a couple of days off. They had Super Bowl Sunday off and maybe can enjoy being normal for 5 minutes. Tried to take advantage of it. I think the guys did. We had really good, our practices have been really good. Lately, I had a really good one yesterday, and hopefully we'll bring that same kind of energy today before we jump on the plane and, head out to, a real tough venue.
On 2 more guys for Coach. We'll go to Jerry next, and that's with Richie.
Steve, we've touched on this a little bit this season. You mentioned it a few times, but I want to ask you just again about the noise that your bench players make. It just seems so loud. And what is that like for your the guys who are on the court to see the bench going nuts like that?
Well, I mean, Jerry, for me as a coach, I just think it's awesome when everyone's rooting for others' success. I think it's just an awesome sign about your team. This world is kind of a selfie world, and when you have really unselfish guys that are embracing the success of the guys on the court, I think it's just, unbelievable. And, we got Luke Nathan does an unbelievable job and has since he got here. Nick Brooks, we got Daniel Lobach and Aiden. Those guys are well liked. They work hard. They're a big part of this thing. And the venues now have completely changed. And, the rack would have been jumping. The Minnesota game, it would have been unbelievable. We don't get that advantage anymore. And I think our bench has really done a good job. And, whether it's the guys that aren't playing as much, Oscar and Mawat and Dean, they do a great job, and they really root for each other, and they know how much time and effort has been put into preparing for a basketball game. And, they try to bring that energy at home and on the road. And it's just, huge advantage for us. And energy is a big part of every game. You play a lot of games, and there's a lot of obstacles you go through to get to these games. And, then by the time you get there, that energy is such a big part. And if your team plays with energy, it's going to be a really good sign. And when your bench is into it, it just, puts another twist. So they've been great, very, very thankful. And they're respected by the staff and the players too. So what they say to our guys, I think our guys really listen to them too. So, really, really been a huge positive for us this year.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Jay.
Hey, Steve. So I'm looking at the numbers, and your new starting lineup has gotten your team off to some great starts recently, especially the 4-game winning streak. I think they've outscored opponents by 55 points prior to a substitution. Do you think there's a specific reason for the success, or?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think everyone's playing better. So I don't look at it as. I think our team's playing better. We're really advancing the ball up the floor. We're passing the basketball better. But the most important thing we're doing, we're defending, and I think that's really, really important. And whether the other team's scoring or we're not, we're stopping teams, and we've out rebounded all of our opponents. So the most important stat that you can really look at is that we're rebounding the ball at a better clip throughout the whole game. And our defense is playing at just a high level against some really good offensive teams. Minnesota's as good an offensive team as there is in the country. And Iowa now is, the best team in our league offensively. I think they're in the top 10 in scoring in the nation too. So, I think our defense is, really, finding itself. And I think guys are doing a really good job of understanding the scouting reports, which change by the day with each team, and we're soaking in more of that kind of scouting report advantages. So just thankful, but we're just playing better, and that's a product of everyone sacrificing everyone, stepping up to the challenges that this league, presents on a daily basis.
Coach, we'll go on that one and talk to you after Iowa game tomorrow night.
All right, guys, I appreciate you being on. All right, thanks. You guys have a great day. Stay healthy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.